All right, there are two folks. Good morning, whoever it is. Appreciate y'all coming in. Hey, Jody. No, I just woke up. I went to bed at about 9:30. Woke up at 1 and went in there and ate me a banana and some sauerkraut. And I'm not sleepy right now, so I said, well, there's bound to be somebody up roaming around. Hello, Miss Jody. There's a link. Come on up here. I know you're awake. If you go to sleep, that'll be all right. I put the link. I don't know how to post it at the top of the thing. I got a cat over here that discovered something to play with. And he's wearing me to death. Come on up here, Jody. I'm in a lot better shape tonight than I was the other night, I guess. Getting ready for work? Okay. That old dirty four-letter word. I was talking to a neighbor yesterday. He cooks all the time out on a grill. He got a $1,500 grill on wheels. He cooks all the time anyway. He's fixing to retire. He's a federal marshal. He's fixing to retire. And I told him, I said, let me give you a little piece of advice about retiring. Make sure you got something to go do. Because if you don't have something to do when you're retired, you go crazy. I haven't had any trouble with not having to go to work. I don't miss it a bit. I don't miss the checks. I don't miss nothing. I sure don't miss fooling with them bosses I had. That may be the reason I haven't had trouble with this brain deal. I had 5 bosses. All of them had equal power, equal on the company pyramid. They all 5 was right there side by side by side. I worked for all 5 of them. What is your new job, Jody? I didn't know you had a new job. I thought you still with that company doing military stuff. I may have some advice for you. And you take it for you use it just like it for how much you pay for it. Yeah, I bet that's boring, isn't it? Yeah. But you getting are you responsible for shipping and receiving at the warehouse? Maybe one day we can talk about it. I don't know. I know one person that was a warehouse manager, and he was lazy as hell. So I don't know. It sounds like the kind of job I would have liked. Sitting around a lot. Only thing is you got to know where everything is when they come to pull something if you're in charge of shipping. You have one of them little tricycles to ride, or you have to walk everywhere. Let me get my camera around here a little better so folks can see this pretty face. Or whatever you want to call it. There it is. Jody, I know it's a lot easier to talk about it than it is to type about it. So maybe I can catch up with you one day and we can talk about it. I'd like to know what's involved. I think CP was a warehouse manager, but he did more setting up the trolley lines that were all computed and everything, ran off a computer, than he was shipping and receiving. I worked in a big medicine factory one time, and they bring a trailer truck load of empty boxes in that and back up to the unloading dock. We'd unload all them empty boxes full of 2-liter bottles, set them on the line on the conveyor belt, and it'd take off through that company. And that same truck would pull around to the receiving dock and pick all them boxes back up full of medicine. You go through that whole They set up all them conveyor belts and everything. That's nerve-wracking trying to make sure that the computer picks the right item to send a different direction. Now, that seemed to me like it's impossible, but I guess it is possible. The company I was working for, at every turnover had a man standing at it would push them boxes and send them that way. Yeah, manually. You got a person at each turnover sends items in a certain direction. Yeah. I reckon the boxes we had some kind of a QR code on it that a little electric guy, I don't know if it was a computer, but something read it that would knock it and make it go a different direction. CP may be able to. Hey, yeah.
No, our company isn't advanced like that. Everything's done by hand. And what I do is I receive the components and fabric and the cotton in to make the stuff. And I
Yeah.
have to inventory it, then send it out to be cut. And it comes back to me. Then I have to package it all together with the zippers and stuff to make a cut. Enough stuff to make like 1,500 units in a cut, like parkas, and send it to somewhere to be sewn, another factory. I have to keep the company running that way.
Yeah.
It work. It's all done by, you have to do it all by hand.
Right. Well, you
Okay.
busy anyway. You busy as be, huh?
I have to do. I got my old job I have to do too, and then I got to set all these computer programs up that they the person they fired like 5 or 6 people,
Huh?
and honestly, I already got that most of that already done, but they keep putting more work on me that they don't want to do, and I'm like, I just
Well,
told them, I said
are
it's
they
up.
running? Are they running the money up when they run you up?
They didn't think they was going to, and I told them I wasn't doing it for free. They did have to give me a raise.
The reason I did what I did, I'm trying to get us up here side by side. It ain't working.
I can't stay long, or I'll be late for work.
Yeah.
So I'm supposed to be on vacation this week. I have to go in for inventory end of the year.
Are they paying you for all this extra?
Yeah, well, not what I wanted, but I got a good one. But I asked for more than what I got. Of course,
Yeah,
they don't never give you what you ask for.
that's right. Well, I hate it. I hate it going like it's going for you, but maybe it'll smooth out soon.
Well, I just don't like it's in concrete, and I got arthritis, so it messes up my feet.
Yeah, well, you got to get a pair of $100 shoes.
I do. I can only wear one kind of shoes.
Get you some thick soles, and put some support in them. Some of them Dr. Scholl's things in them.
Yeah. I'm always really supposed to do computer work, but it don't work out that way. And but still, it's a concrete floor in there too.
Have you got a job description written down?
No,
Have you got your job application?
wait a minute. For other jobs,
No, for that job.
I know I've been there 25. I didn't apply for it. They couldn't get no. They posted it 2 times. I never signed for it, and then they transferred me to it because they had no
No.
one else I could get to do it. I told them the other day I didn't want it.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I'll get it straightened out, and then they'll hire someone to walk into an easy job and put me back doing something else.
Yeah.
That I was supposed to be made plant manager, and then they put me in that.
Well, yeah. If you don't have it written down, you ain't got a foot to stand on
Yeah,
unless you go to EEOC,
yeah.
and that always gets their attention.
EOC. Yep.
Equal Opportunity Employment,
Yeah.
and
Uh,
they take stuff just like what you're going through,
yeah.
and if it's bad enough, you know, they'll tend to it.
Yeah.
So don't no company want to fool with the Equal Opportunity Employment Council or whatever it is.
I'll end up being a workers' comp. I'll end up getting hurt or something. I already have trouble getting around right now because it's messing up my knee and foot, and they don't have to cause your injury; it just has to aggravate it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll probably end up being a workers' comp.
Do they have a tricycle or something for you to ride around on?
No. Hmm. They did build me a bathroom last week because I had to go all the way through the whole factory to get to the bathroom
Yeah.
from one corner to the other corner of the building. And
Right.
so they did build me a bathroom back there where I work at now
Well,
last,
that's good.
last week. So that'll cut down a lot of the unnecessary walking.
Well, my advice would be get plenty of stuff documented
Yeah.
in writing,
I'll just send it through emails.
or a some kind of way to record. You can record on your telephone.
Yeah.
if you know how to do it. I would never get it done because I would never figure out how to do it.
You can screen record and you can put it for volume, external volume too, where it picks up what's being, like if what's on the camera and then what's being said off camera.
When we met with my brain surgeon, my son, did you see that tape?
Uh-uh.
It's on Facebook.
Yeah.
But when we met with my surgeon the first time, he was in there, and when we got through, went back in the room, he pulled that thing out, and I said, "Boy, you can't do that." He said, I can't do it again, but I did it once. He recorded the whole conversation.
Yeah. Well, that's good because it's hard to remember everything being said from a doctor like that.
Yeah, but he posted it on Facebook too.
Oh, okay.
It's Blaine, Blaine Adams.
Yeah. Mm.
Tell me I'm doing better, girl.
You are doing a lot better. You sound really good today.
Well, I need that kind of reinforcement. I really do.
Yeah.
And feedback because I can't tell.
I can tell. You're sitting up straight. Does it sound better?
Well, them drugs are worn off. See, I take them at 8:30.
Yeah. I can tell the difference in the way you're holding your face right now. Yep. You do two things at once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever met that Mr. Wimpy?
Gimpy or wimpy?
Wimpy.
No.
Boy, he is a hoot.
Never heard of him.
He don't have any legs. He
I
he
think.
was on Lance McCouguy's show last night.
Oh, I think his name's Gimpy, ain't it? Because he walks with a gimp, or is that someone different?
Gimpy.
Yeah.
That's who I'm talking about. Gimpy, not Wimpy.
No, I ain't never met him.
I hadn't either, but boy, he's a hoot. Man, he's funny.
Yeah.
He makes me feel better, really.
I think he's from Tennessee, ain't he?
You think he's what?
I think he's from Tennessee.
I don't know where he's from.
I think so. I ain't gonna swear to it, but I believe so.
Well, I could understand him, so he must be from the South somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, he came up. He's a young fella, too.
Hmm.
I thought he'd be an old guy not having any legs, you know.
Yeah.
He may have been in the, he may be a veteran or something like that, you know.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know his backstory.
I don't either. I don't know anything about it other than he's funny.
I think he's fished with Daryl some and maybe the Swains. So I think he's probably from Tennessee. I think I've heard him talk about Tennessee River before. He probably ain't far from me.
He's a super guy now, I'll tell you.
Yeah. I
They
don't really.
invited him up. They must have sent him a link to come up live last night.
Yeah.
He finally showed up, and you know what he said?
What?
He said Sunday is no leg day. I can't wear my legs on Sunday. I had to crawl over here. I
Yeah.
thought I said, man. I mean, I knew he was an amputee, but I didn't know he didn't. I didn't know he was a young fella.
Yeah.
He went talking about swimming and everything.
Yeah.
And people pick on him all the time too.
I know. I hear him make jokes, stuff. I couldn't do it. I know he likes it and he laughs and has fun, but it just ain't my style.
No, I couldn't make no joke to him either about
Uh,
it.
no,
That ain't no joking matter, girl.
no. I mean, I ain't friends with him to make one, you know. Just because you hear someone make a joke with somebody don't mean you can make that same joke.
That's right. I agree 100,000%.
Yeah.
You know, when right after this operation, they put me in rehab a week later.
Yeah.
And the first thing I had to go to was this lady. She wasn't as old as I am, but she was up in age, you know.
Yeah.
And it was something to do with speech.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to blow in. Have I told this before to you?
No.
And I had to blow into this tube like a breathalyzer test until I couldn't blow no more. It would, if you blew hard enough, it locked, you know.
Yeah.
And you couldn't blow anymore. But anyway, when they cut me, they cut me in some squares up here,
Yeah.
like cutting a piece out of a pumpkin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I was blowing on that thing, and I didn't know she didn't tell me what was gonna happen. But I was blowing hard as I could blow, and I thought I was gonna pass out. I was blowing so hard, and finally that thing locked. And she said, "Okay, Mr. Adams." And anyway, I leaned back in that chair and I said, "Whee!" And she said, "What's wrong?" I said, "I was blowing so hard on that thing, I felt one of them. I thought that lady was gonna faint, man." She went all apologetic,
Yeah.
and she said, "We got to do it again, but I'm gonna set it a little bit. We don't want to blow the top of your head off."
Yeah. Hmm.
And every time I saw her, boy, she duck her head. I saw a whole bunch, you know, while I was in there.
Yeah. But it feel like a puzzle piece coming loose.
No, it did nothing. I didn't feel nothing.
Really?
No, but I didn't have on a cap. She could see you know, how it had
Yeah.
been, my skull had been cut.
Yeah.
And she knew exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah.
No, I didn't do nothing. I didn't feel a thing up there, but I know I was blowing hard enough.
Yeah.
Her name was Susan.
Was she checking your lung capacity after surgery?
Do what now?
What was she doing? Checking your lung capacity after surgery?
I guess so. I don't know what that test was. She was in the speech department, is all I know.
Oh, okay.
See, I had to learn how to talk and everything all over again.
Yeah.
And I had 5 different speech therapists.
Yeah.
And one of them is the one that gave me this exercise to do all the time. Try to strengthen these face muscles so that my face won't droop.
Yeah. I wonder if chewing gum would help.
If what?
Chewing gum would help build your muscles.
I don't know. They didn't mention it.
I just, you'd be constantly moving it up and down. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, CP. It's quite interesting, the stuff he set up. Because all that conveyors was set on were computerized.
Well, yins are filling orders and stuff. Where I don't.
Well,
I get the
that's
stuff ready for them to manufacture it with.
yeah. Yeah, he was shipping Nike stuff.
Yeah.
But I think the worst he ever had he was shipping Microsoft,
Oh yeah.
Xboxes, and all that.
Yeah.
But he sets up those warehouses.
Mhm.
The company sent him all the way to Harrisburg, Pittsburgh, to set one up.
Yeah.
That's up there where Stan lives.
Is it?
Yeah, not very far. Anyway, the home company's in Memphis.
That's a pretty good piece then.
Yeah, they sent him up there. He was up there for 2 or 3 weeks setting up that new warehouse.
Yeah.
Anyway, he needed some temporary employees. He had like 700 in Memphis.
Yeah.
So he applied for. He told them he needed 800 temporary service people to come in to help set this stuff up.
Wow.
You know how many they ended up with
How many?
in Pennsylvania? 80.
Yeah.
They ended up shipping some temporary service people from Memphis up there, I think.
Yeah.
Don't nobody up there want to work.
No.
It's worse up there than it is in the South.
I only got 2 under me.
Can you imagine putting up with 800 temporary service people?
Nope.
800, that's a lot.
That's a lot of people to keep busy and monitor and make sure they're doing what you want them to do and keep them busy.
Yeah. But, you know, I guess some of those people have been working in that factory quite a bit, even though they're temporary.
Yeah.
So that makes it a little easier.
Yeah.
But he still has some headaches,
Oh, yeah.
especially when they turn that line on the first time when it's brand new. You know? Quite interesting how all that worked.
Uh-huh.
So the factory I worked in was strictly manual like yours. It's on rollers more or less, and then it hit leather every once in a while.
No, we got buggies and pallet jacks and forklifts. Everything's done.
So they carried it in pallets where they wanted to go.
Yep.
And then offloading the pallets and using the material.
Well, you receive it in, we have to check it, make sure it's right, inventory it, and put it on a shelf, and then figure out what needs to go to be cut.
Yeah.
Send it over there to be cut or quilted, get it back, and then figure out what else goes with it. So what other pieces need to make a whole jacket,
Yeah.
put it with it, and then put it where it's, how many you have to do each week to keep the production line going so people don't have to go home.
Right. Look who just popped in.
Who?
Mark.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, good. Because I went to jump down and get ready. I'm going to be late for work because I got an hour and a half drive.
Yeah. There's the link, Mark, if you want to drop up here. Because Jody didn't have to leave.
I got
to go to work.
I got to finish getting ready, and I can't leave no later than 4:30. I try to leave about 4:15.
Yeah, Mark said he's finna go back to bed.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to jump on off, Steve. You have a good day.
Right.
I'll be listening.
You do the same thing, Jody.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye. Nothing like having to go to a job you don't want to go to. That's miserable. Well, I got you, Mark. I'm feeling pretty good. Can you tell any difference? I ain't drugged up right now. Most of the drugs wore off that I took at 8:30, I guess. I need for y'all, people that see me talking and kept carrying on, tell me if they think I'm doing better or not, because I can't tell. I feel fine. I feel like I ought to have a headache, but I hadn't had a headache yet. I don't know what's up with that. You'd think I'd have some major headaches, but I hadn't had a single headache. I got this stuff in my mouth. I might sound better if I quit using so much of it. But I had a busy day. I stayed outside almost all day long. I stayed outside so long my wife came out there looking for me, told me I better get back up in that damn house. Well, good for you, Ma. I quit in 1999 at football practice. I was smoking 2 packs a day. And when we'd take our little water breaks, I'd sit over and smoke 3 or 4 cigarettes. Finally, one day, I was sitting there and all them boys out there drinking Gatorade, and I was sitting over there smoking. And I said, I'm going to quit. So on the way home that morning, it was during tour days. On the way home that morning, I put my cigarette lighter and cigarettes up on the dashboard. And I hadn't smoked one since. I know what you're going through. Just remember, it's day by day. It can get minute by minute. Do you drink, Mark? I'm not judging you. I'm just asking because every time I open a can of beer, that's when I want a cigarette. The difference is now I can open a can of beer and drink and smoke a cigarette, bum a cigarette and smoke it, and throw the can away and put out the cigarette and don't want another one. Where I used to, if I smoked that first one, I was at the store buying a cart. I guess that's the reason I dip snuff and drink at the same time now. But I'm a beer drinker, not a hard liquor drinker. And at one point, I had trouble with it. So much so that I knew I was having trouble with it. I drink too much. But I never missed a day of work because of it. Now, I went to work drunk as hell 1 or 2 times, but I ain't never missed a day of work because I was drinking, laying out, or whatever I was doing. It's a wonder my wife stayed with me some of the stunts I pulled. I had 2 grandsons. I'm going to tell this story. I had 2 grandsons. They grown. They went off to college, and first time we all got together at Thanksgiving, they were talking about parties and this and that and the other and everything they did. So we were back at the house, and all their parents went somewhere. I ran up to the liquor store and bought a half a gallon of Jack Daniels and brought it back to the house took a knife and cut around that cap, took that cap off, threw it in the garbage, and set that bottle of whiskey on the table. And I gave each one of them a glass. I said, "All right, boys, we're gonna see what drinking's all about." They came in, my two grandsons' heads laying down on the table, and I steady pouring them drinks. Boy, them folks got mad at me. I got tired of listening to all that young bull crap, you know. I done lived everything that they had, and twice as much as what they was telling. They were done. Yeah. I sure did that. I caught hell about it, but I did it. And they didn't go to bragging about all the frat parties and stuff no more though. Because they scared I'd throw that cap in the garbage, I guess. And I probably would have. Well, a drink or two along ain't bad. They didn't let me start drinking a little beer. And that first one sure was good. The whole time I was down there in that hospital, I never thought about getting out and wanting a beer, but I thought about this snuff every day. It's a terrible, nasty habit. I know that. But ain't it fun to have a few drinks and get a little buzz with a bunch of guys that you know, and get to hearing the stories they tell? Man, I used to love that. And it's more funny stuff happens over a drink than anywhere else in the world. That just make you laugh so hard you can't stand it. If Yankees is anything like rednecks down here. All my drinking buddies went their own way, but they didn't go off somewhere else. They all got buried. We buried 4 this year. But that's what happens when you get to be 79 years old. Yeah, prison is. I don't know about prison. I don't think any of my buddies ever went to prison. Some of us probably should have, but we didn't. Growing up in the 60s. In a small town in Mississippi, I reckon it's what kept most of us alive or out of jail. Boy, you must have been hanging with a tough crowd. Sound like a motorcycle gang. I got a story about divorce. If you want to come up here and let me tell it to you. It's funny as hell. Down the highway about 35 miles, there's a hunting camp down there It's actually a hunting lodge that a family owns. And they go down there, and it's really, really nice place. I've been down there coon hunting years ago, once or twice. But anyway, it's between Greenville and Vicksburg. And I hope ain't none of them listening. I ain't gonna call no names. But anyway, they had a hot tub in there. And on the gravel road coming in, had another little house up there that a fella called Willie stayed in. And it had a gate there at his house across the gravel road. Well, anyway, these four guys that was they were all cousins and brothers and all that. They had a big old hot tub, and they had a bunch of women in there from Vicksburg, and they was all in the hot tub. Well, one of the wives had done got a little bit suspicious, so her and the other three wives got in the car and rode down there, and Willie stopped them at the gate and wouldn't let them through the gate. And they kept on, and Willie said, "Now you road hoes gonna have to turn around and go back where y'all come from, because they down there. They got all their wives down there." Anyway, them four women got out and walked down that gravel road and walked in there, and there all their husbands was in the hot tub with four other women. It was several divorces came out of that. You road hoes gonna have to turn around and go back up the road. They got their wives down there. That's okay. Come on, Mark. And when you get sleepy, go to bed. Heck, ain't no big deal. Because that's what I'm gonna have to do if I get sleepy. The other night when I was up here, I was so drugged up, I had just taken my 8:30 night meds, they call it. It's 2 super sleeping pills and all right, night, Mark. Hope you go to bed. Hope you sleep well. Five people in here. Somebody probably wants to come up. Somebody I had never had up here come up. Somebody I hadn't talked to face to face. Come on up. Yeah, that hot tub got them all in trouble. Several of them got divorced, but one of them didn't. I don't know how that works out. I know if my wife called me in a hot tub with another woman, it wouldn't be no. I know what had happened. This brain cancer wouldn't kill me. I'd already be dead. And it was lawyers and everything in that thing. Somebody come on. It's 5 now. Now it's back to 4. Somebody come on up here, please. I don't bite. I'm not contagious. The reason I want you to come up is because it's hard for me to read this little old chat over here. And I don't want to miss anything that's said. Maybe something important. Joe's the warehouse manager now. She said she was going to cook for the whole crew. There won't be no work the next day. They'll all be having their stomach pumped. You got the football, college football next week, I guess, or whenever it is. Ole Miss going to, I think, to the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans. That'll be a whole home game for them. It'll be a ton of Ole Miss fans at New Orleans. It'll be a good weekend to be in New Orleans if you like to party. Only thing that make it a bigger game is they playing LSU. I got a granddaughter at LSU. You talking about surprising the family? Everybody totally wiped out when she said she's going to LSU. So it don't matter whether you're a state fan, a Mississippi State fan, or Ole Miss fan. You hate LSU. I see where Bobby Petrino is looking at offensive coordinator at the University of North Carolina. I don't know if there's any college football fans in here listening, but he's a damn good offensive coach. If he hadn't liked them volleyball players so much and had a motorcycle wreck with one of them on the back of his motorcycle, he'd still be at Arkansas, I imagine. But that big blonde he had on the back of that motorcycle cost him a fortune. Because she may have been worth it, who knows? All right, 5 folks, somebody bound to want to come in here. There's the link again. 4 folks now. But 2:30 in the morning, I reckon that's understandable. Just don't be bashful about coming up. I remember a lot of the guys in the community and girls the first time they ever went up on a live. Ain't no big deal. I don't know if Ole Miss got a chance against Georgia or not. I guess they always got a chance. That's the reason they play the game. But Ole Miss is playing really good right now. Kind of like the baseball team said a few years ago, don't let the Rebels get hot. I know I like our new coach, Pete Golding. He went to the same college I went to. He's from Delta State, small school right up the road here about. When I went, it was 1,600 students. I don't know how many is up there now. I graduated in 70, way ahead of Golding. He played football up there. I played baseball. That's where the coach came from. I guess I'm getting boring. It's not but two folks in here now. Trying to come up with a story to tell, but you listening, Jody? Okay. I guess you heard what I said about the cooking for the warehouse. Don't do that, y'all will miss a day's work. Mark's sick. He went to bed. You know, I'm just picking on him. I heard about the CatCon and you're cooking for the CatCon and everybody enjoyed it. So it can't be as bad as that, as you make it out to be, or some people do, maybe me. Great. There you go. You know, I guess I told you, Jody, that's what we had for Thanksgiving was a fish fry. I know a commercial fisherman real well, and I called him and talked to him, and he caught me one. He wanted to know how big I wanted. I said 12, 15 pounds. Anyway, he brought me one that weighed 14 pounds. And I got it cleaned. A friend came down and cleaned it, and then my son cut it up. And my other son cooked it. Boy, you talking about good. We had homemade slaw and some sure enough good hush puppies. But we didn't cook any potatoes. But boy, you talking about love to eat some fish. I love fish. And I like it cold. If it's cooked good, I just reach in there and get me a piece off of the plate out of the refrigerator and eat it just like it is. I love fish. I guess it's besides Italian spaghetti and meatballs, I reckon it's my favorite food. I like a good hamburger too when I cook it. Well, I wish the type on this thing was bigger where I could read it leaning back in this chair. These glasses, I don't know, they just ain't big enough, ain't strong enough or something. The optometrist told me 150s or 175s, and I got 150s. I probably should have got 175. But I got that what they call wet AMD in both eyes, so may not get any better. Strange thing is the same medicine they give me a shot in each eye every 2 or 3 months was developed as a cancer medicine because it constricts the veins, blood vessels, and they use it to slow the flow of blood down to a tumor. Now they give me a shot in the damn eye with it. try to stop the back leaking out the backside. That's crazy. So all this cancer medicine I'm taking plus some shots, my eyes ought to clear up pretty good. I'll quit working altogether, one of the two. But believe it or not, them shots in your eye don't bother you a bit. They don't bother me one little bit. I don't look forward to it, but it don't bother me. It's just a little bright light goes off, and sometimes you see a big black dot down here to the bottom right. That'll stay with you for a few hours. Even when you close your eyes, you can see it. Come on up, Polar Bear. Chad, I know you know how to come up because you got your own show. You ain't doing nothing else this time of morning. Come on up here. I don't think I've ever talked to you, maybe once. I know you're not bashful because I've seen your show. You in bed with a friend or I got you. I see. I hope if you're in bed with a friend. Don't want to be in bed with an enemy. Fool around here and I go to sleep. 93 people. I figured Uncle Luke'd be around somewhere. He keeps some weird hours too. Yeah, I got to go to radiation this morning at 9 o'clock, early this morning. I usually go at 1:45 in the afternoon, but because of the holidays and they're trying to get all my sessions in, I'm having to go at 9 o'clock in the morning. Because I got a bunch of family coming in tomorrow evening. I guess today is Sunday. I lose all track of time. Days, in a way. I got a big clock sitting right there. I can see what time it is. I can remember 25 years ago, and I can't remember 25 minutes ago. Well, that's a good idea, Polar Bear. I never thought about bringing them to bed with me, though. That's pretty neat. Okay, yeah, Monday. Good, thank you, sir. It's 2:43 Monday here. I'm in the great Magnolia State of Mississippi. MISSIPY, Mississippi. Yeah, I thought I'd sleep good tonight, but because I got a lot of exercise today. Which they say I need to be doing. I used a shovel in the garden, putting up rows, getting ready for spring, I reckon. And I watered some broccoli. I catch rainwater in a 15-gallon tub, and I got a little old 1-gallon bucket I used to go around and water my pots with. If any of y'all garden, I'm gonna give you a hint that you're gonna like. You take a 5-gallon bucket or whatever your container is, if you're raising stuff in a container, and cut the bottom out of it. Just take a jigsaw and cut about half the bottom out of it, and then till up the ground, the real dirt in your garden. I did it with a shovel. You can do it with a tiller. You can do it however you want to do it, and set that bucket down right there, and then fill the bucket up with potting soil or some kind of soil, and plant your plant in that bucket. And the roots, container plants take a lot of water because the roots saturate all the soil, and then you put water in it. It uses that water real quick. But with the bottom out of that bucket, the roots go down, and they go down in the ground. And it's just like watering a plant that's growing out of the ground. Pretty good. Where are you, polar bear? Snow in Ohio? Okay, I see. Are you a Buckeye fan? I guess you are. Would nothing tickle me any more than Ole Miss meet Ohio State for the finals. It tickled me if Ole Miss made it that far. I'd be so happy. I don't know if they can beat Georgia or not. We had them beat early in the year, and they made a 4th and 9 on us and went on and won the game. Running the ball, too. I don't believe I can handle all that snow. But all my family's from Vermont, and I was up there one time visiting some half-sisters. And it snowed so hard. 2 blocks from Eric and Curtis. I feel sorry for you, man. I hope you don't have to run into them too much. But anyway, she had a picture. Showed me some picture. Oh, we were looking at picture albums because I didn't know all my kinfolks. I was just meeting everybody, and this was on my biological dad's side of the family. I was adopted when I was real little. But anyway, she had a picture out there, and there's a pink ribbon laying on the snow. And I said, Pam, what in the world, what'd you take a picture of a pink ribbon on the snow for? She said, it's tied to the antenna on the car. I said, Lord have mercy. I said, I couldn't, man, that was some tough stay up there in that part of the world. But had to mark the antenna with a ribbon so they wouldn't scratch the car when they're digging the car out with the snow. We went outside one morning, had to leave about 2 o'clock in the morning to get to Albany, New York to the airport on time. And it was snowing. And you touch the door handle and you could feel your hand want to stick to it. It was so cold. I said, I didn't know it snowed when it got this cold. And my brother-in-law said, it's just snowing out of habit. Lord have mercy. That sounds like rain where I'm from. Yeah, I met my dad. I did. I ended up, I got a big family in Vermont. Hell, I'm probably kin to half of Vermont, which it ain't many folks up there. But I met on the old chat room I used to go in years ago. I met a distant cousin that lived over in upstate New York that knew all the folks, was kin to all the folks that I was kin to. That was pretty neat. But I would imagine the last person in the world you ever talked to, when I told you I was from Vermont, kinfolks from Vermont, you had to say, do what now? Because I definitely got a southern drawl. Yeah, he does it live, Jody. I was watching some folks bowl the other night. Well, look them up, Polar Bear. That'd be my advice. Don't expect much, but look them up. Look, my dad and stepmom I found my dad on my 40th birthday. I met him on my 40th birthday. So I was a full-grown man with a whole family. But anyway, when he and his wife married, she had 4 sons, and the youngest one applied for my dad's last name. And they went to a lawyer, and he was adopted and everything. They all live in Illinois now, but anyway, his name is Darrell. And he took my dad's last name. I don't even have my dad's last name. I would do it, but I think it caused so much confusion with my kids and everything. Oh, I didn't have any trouble with mine, Jody. And they're all damn Yankees, too. But anyway, I got a phone call one day, and they wanted to make me executor of the estate. My dad was 95 at the time. And they wanted me to be the executive of the estate, and I had never met all my half brothers and sisters but one time. And some of them I got along with, and some of them I didn't. Kind of like Jody, I reckon, in that part. But anyway, I told him, I said, why don't y'all make Darrell executive of the estate? He lived right here with y'all, by y'all. That makes more sense than anything. Not me, because heck, I don't know if I want that responsibility. Well, anyway, back last year, I got a phone call from my stepmother. My dad died right before Christmas. He was 99. Well, I wasn't that way, Jody. I wanted to find my dad. Cause heck, I wanted to know why I was like I am, and think the way I think. I found out when I met him too. He's an ex-Marine, World War II Marine, and he looks at life a whole way different than I was looking at it. I got a cousin that's an ex-Marine, and he looks just like my dad. He thinks just like my daddy thought. I got a story about that too. But anyway, last year, right before Christmas, I got a phone call from my stepmother, and she was hee-hawing around, didn't want to say nothing. And I finally said, Carol, just spit it out. Whatever it is, just spit it out. And she says, we've been talking about it, and we think Dad ought to be the executive of the estate. Some of the kids got upset when they found out you were. I said, what did I tell y'all in Spokane 10 years ago? I said, that's what it should have been. To start with Darrell, not me. I didn't want no part of it. But apparently she had forgotten the conversation. And boy, she said, she told me I never realized the weight I took off of her shoulders. Because she said she'd been trying to make that phone call for 3 months. And putting it off, putting it off. Didn't know how I'd take it. Hell, I got plenty of sense. I know what should have been done to start with. She lives in a little town in Illinois, Princeton, Illinois. Well, that's different, Jody. I never had a relationship with my dad, and I wanted one. It's certain things you do in life, you wonder why you made that decision. Why did you decide to do that instead of the other way? It always ate at me, I reckon. And like I said, I played college baseball down here in the small college, and on my dad's side, uncle. That sounded like what my stepdaddy did, and I kind of disowned him. But anyway, when I met all them cousins, I got 4 cousins, 4 cousins, whatever they are, and all of them played college ball out there in Washington. All them baseball players. I thought that was kind of strange. And my dad never even picked up a football. That's where I inherited all these stepbrothers and sisters I got, Jody. My dad was married 4 times. And when I got back after I met him that first time, he lived in Northern California. I got back home and I told my wife, we sit down and talking about how the visit went. And I told her, I said, you know that Carol is his fourth wife. And I said, I'm still on my first one. I said, you better straighten up, girl. That conversation went in one ear and out the other. Yeah, I was playing baseball when I got my greetings. But heck, I failed the physical. I had already had several operations when I went up there for the physical, and they was going to send me to an orthopedic surgeon, keep me overnight. They was going to put me up in a motel there in Memphis. I probably would have got killed in Memphis. That was like going to war, but not back then. But anyway, the sergeant that was running us through the line came over and said, Adams, said, the colonel wants to see you. So he carried me in the colonel's office and he said, Mr. Adams, he said, looked over all the papers you brought. He said, and the procedure is to send you to the eye orthopedic surgeon and let him check you tomorrow. He said, but since he's the one that sent this letter, no need of you staying. You go catch that bus back home. But they were going to send me to the same orthopedic surgeon that wrote the letter about my shoulders and legs and everything. Oh, well, Jody, it happens every day. But I tell you what, carrying a grudge will eat at you. That may be the reason my head's like it is now. Because I'm easy to carry a grudge. Especially when I think somebody did something wrong or wronged somebody I know. And when they wrong your mother, that's pretty tough. But I have a great relationship with my stepmother. In fact, when I discovered this brain cancer, I didn't even call her. I didn't even let her know. I called Darryl, told him about it, so he could ease over there. Because she's 10, 12 years older than I am. She's close to 90, and I hadn't received. I know I'll get a big letter from him when he tells me, but I hadn't gotten it, so he may not have talked to her yet, because it broke his heart too. He's married to an Indian girl that's smart as a daggum whip, boy. She's smart. I'm crazy about her. They got a daughter named Mariah. Only person I've ever known named Mariah. And she's beautiful, boy. She got that Indian skin and that black hair and them big old brown eyes. Pretty girl. Boy, she's pretty. She makes somebody a good wife. Yeah, Jody, I kind of understand where you're coming from. Because I don't have a relationship with any of the rest of them. In fact, the last get-together I was at, one of them made me so mad I almost told them where the bus was. And my dad and stepmother called me aside and said, "You can't pay no attention to what she said. Just let it go in one ear and out the other." I said, well, "She shouldn't have said that to me." And they both agreed. But anyway, they convinced me to let it go, and I dropped out of the conversation before I said something I shouldn't say. And don't even remember what the topic was. Yeah, I remember what it was. It was welfare. Because I told them that welfare was a help up, not a way of life. And they didn't like it. And they all worked. They all worked. They wasn't helpless or nothing. They all had jobs. I said, welfare is a way up, not a way of life. If you go to look at it, depends on how you look at it. Of course, you pay insurance premiums. You pay for insurance. But the one bill, we hadn't received but one bill for this operation I had, and it was $92,000. We hadn't received all the anesthesiologists and all that other stuff. It ain't no debt to telling what it costs the insurance company to fix my head. I know that first paid invoice we got was $92,000. And the strange thing about all that, the doctor don't get a whole lot of that money. And he's the one doing all the work. The hospital gets a big chunk of it. Well, Jody, one of the reasons I wanted to meet my dad is because, and I'm glad I did now, it ain't helped none, but was to get a medical record. Because Kay and I took out a long-term health care policy about 25 years ago, where if you get sick, it pays $450 a day. And the more I thought about it, and the more questions my doctor asked me, the fewer questions I could answer. Because I had no family history on my father's side, medical history. And that was one of the reasons I wanted to meet him. Plus, I got two boys that are grown, and I wanted them to meet their granddaddy, which they all did have. Because I think family is important. Of course, now this was my biological dad. This wasn't all them this wasn't all them step brothers and sisters. But my two half sisters, one of them has been here. One of them never been to the house, but one of them came and stayed with her 2 or 3 days. Her and her daughter. But I enjoyed meeting all of mine. But yeah, boy, I don't know what the final outcome gonna be on all this surgery, but I imagine it's gonna be way up there. The hospital stays is what tears you up, polar bear. Them hospitals charge an arm and a leg, man. I don't know what any of y'all know about nursing, the nursing, the nursing profession, but the last hospital I was in, the floor I had, each nurse had 6 patients. And I was in one down there that each nurse had 13 patients. But the one I was in that had 6, boy, you talking about taking care of you. I can't say enough good things about them down there where I was. Other than laying up in the bed all day, it wasn't bad. Food was good and everything else. That was the first time I'd ever eaten tomato basil soup. Boy, that stuff was good. That was a new name, Crawdale. Crawdale. I had never seen that name before. Might well be a kindergarten. That's right. But I will say that even the one that had 13, I got some good care. When you hit that panic button, it wasn't long. One of them was there. And the funny thing about it, most all of them was from the same town here in Mississippi. Oh, they all lived on the Choctaw Indian Reservation. Well, none of them Indians, though. There's a town that's built on that reservation called Philadelphia, Mississippi. And they were all from Philadelphia. I think they carpooled. But the one that had 6, they worry you to death, man. Right now we're talking about nurses and how many patients they have on the hospital floor. That says Crowdeal, not Crawdale. My middle name is Crow. Yeah, my middle name is Crow. Or Crowd. How do you pronounce that? Crow or Crowd? Crawfish. Okay. Yeah, my eyes are not too good after that surgery. And it's helped me to read some of this stuff. Crawfish. Oh, yeah, you must be in Louisiana then. Where are you exactly, Crawfish? I don't need the street address, just what town you live in. Hit that link, come on up here if you want to. Like Crawdale. Crawdale. Looks like it's got an F on the end of it. Does it have an F on the end of it? I'm up. I'm up in the PNW. What in the world is the PNW? Pinewood? Crawdale, okay. Pacific Northwest. What in the world you know about crawfish? Being from way off up there. My dad lived in Spokane. I got a ton of cousins in Everett, Washington. A whole ton of them. Bunch of them. Did y'all eat them up there like we eat them down here? As many of them as we can get? All right. Nice meeting you, man. Try to stay dry up there in that Northwest because I know it's raining. You ever seen that name before, Polar Bear? That's the first time I've run into that fella. Boy, I wish I could lean back in this chair and see that chair. So much more comfortable. Lucky you laying in my bed, boy. Good thing I ain't allergic to cat hair. Ever since I got back from the hospital, this cat hadn't been over 4 feet from me for over 30 minutes for the last 2 months. He stays right where I am. Everywhere I go, he's right there. Hey, Jody, if you still listening, we gave Lucky a bath today. He didn't speak to us for 2 hours. That's about the most fun I've had in a year. Oh, you didn't run a loaf of bread? Good thing you had that on. That's kind of like a bumper. Had that bread with you, probably save you a big bruise. Whole new loaf of bread. Yeah, I bet you mash that damn bread flat. You need to get you a nightlight if you have to go down, if you're falling on the stairs. Or put you some handrails or something up. And don't worry, Dollar General got plenty of bread, and I bet you probably won't pass over 10 of them. We love that bunny bread, but I'm scared of it. It lasts too long. I don't know what all it's got in it, but it's got enough preservatives to. You got to have a lot of stuff in it to last as long as it does once you open it. But I like it fresh. There be two folks here now. And I bet I can't talk either one of them into coming up here live. Joe, you ever heard of that Crawdill? That's a new name to me. He's in the Pacific Northwest, Oregon or Washington, way off over yonder somewhere. No, me either. It's a big time difference between here and there. I think it's 2 hours difference. He may have just gotten off work or something and was looking for something to do. But he knew the ins and outs of crawfish. That was strange. Being from way off over there. I bet they're using them old river crawfish for bait. Catch some of them big salmon or whatever they got running up in rivers over there. Where my dad lived around Spokane was farming country. Everywhere I went, I didn't see nothing but wheat. Yeah, he seemed like a nice guy. He did. Maybe he'll join the community and we'll get to talk to him some more. Find out more about him. What he fishes for and all that. I know somebody that won't be in here is Troy. He's sound asleep, probably kicking and bucking. Four folks. There's the link up there if anybody wants to come up here. And there it is again. Jody, you know how to pin the links to the top of the chat like some people do? Polar Bear Chad. Chad maybe done gone to sleep. I like it when they pin it up there at the top, and I don't know how to do it. I guess you have to have a regular shoulder to do it like that. You got to be on regularly at a certain time. You know what I always thought about when they pinned the link at the top, they inviting people to come on in. That's my thoughts on it. I got a buddy that lives about one house over that I went, he got a big grill in his backyard, a big barbecue, big thing on wheels. And he cooks all the time. I was sitting outside this afternoon and I heard him open the top on that grill and then I saw smoke coming up out of it. So I walked over there to the fence, there's a big wood fence right there. He's a super nice guy. He's a federal marshal. Anyway, I told him, I said, as much cooking as you do, you ought to have something perfected. And he said, I do. And he handed me a rib over that fence. Let me tell you what, that was probably the best rib I ever ate in my life. And he's fixing to retire here next year. And I said, let me tell you something about retirement. Make sure you got something to do. And he said, I do. I'm going to start entering all these cooking contests. And I said, well, that'd be fun. And he's a good cook. He ought to be. He cooks 3 days a week. And he's been buying pecan. He cooks on pecan wood. And I told him, I said, we got this park over here on the river. It's got pecan trees over there 60, 100 feet tall, I reckon. And I told him about going away and picking up wood. He got 2 or 3 chainsaws, and they always got a big tree laying back there somewhere that they'd been cut down and drug off. I told him, I said, y'all be going over there and cutting your wood instead of buying it. Because he said the last wood he bought cost him $150. Heck, that's a lot of money when you go get it for free. And he was tickled to death to hear that. So I reckon he'll be hauling wood now from the park. And you helping them folks out over there too, because the campers don't like it because they don't. You get all the wood, they don't have nothing to burn at the campfire. But I cook on mesquite. I get all my wood from Texas. I use mesquite. I like the way I like mesquite. I got a 5-gallon bucket with some soaking in it right now. Cause we're gonna shish kebab tomorrow. We got 60 pieces of meat. Tenderloin off of a deer. Boy, it's gonna be good. That's the way I love deer meat, is shish kebab. Marinated overnight with some Allegre and Italian salad dressing. And the way I do it, we put all the vegetables on separate skewers. We don't mix it with the meat. I put a piece of bacon on the skewer, a long piece of bacon. Probably it's a half a length of bacon, however long that is, about that long. And we wrap each piece of meat with bacon. Man, that stuff is good. A lot of people overcook deer meat. I think 160 internal is the degrees that it's the best. I believe that's right. It's so lean because if you cook it too long, it gets dry and hard. Good gracious! And my old teeth, I can't chew it. But we got mushrooms, a bunch of little pearl onions, and we're gonna put pineapple on it this time. I never have done pineapple. Kay and I worked for about an hour cutting up stuff. She never had done it before. She never had helped me do it before. But my oldest son and his family coming in this morning sometime. I got a grandson that had been perfecting gumbo. He makes chicken and sausage. But he makes the way they make it in South Louisiana. He boils the chicken down himself and uses that as the broth to make his roux and stuff. Man, the last one he ate, he asked me, he said, they call me Grumps. He said, Grumps, what do you think it needs? I said, more okra. So the next batch he made, he put more okra in it. Boy, it was delicious. I love gumbo, man. Good gumbo. And he knows how to cook it. And he's smart as a whip, so he can do it. He can repeat it over and over the same way. But he ain't never done shish kebab. He's finna learn how. We're gonna run 2 people off. At 3:30 in the morning. Good gracious! So one anybody's in here. Lucky over here on the bed. He done gone to Never Land. Lucky boy. He sure a pretty cat to be so mean. What's that look on your face? Yawning? Why are you yawning? You sleeping? You've been asleep for 2 days. Jody, you talking about your feet in that concrete. And that place I worked had a lot of water in it because we was making medicine. So they issued everybody a pair of black gum boots. And you walk around on concrete for 8 hours with black gum boots, you'd be damn near crippled. I never did understand why they didn't issue people good shoes. They issued us uniforms and big old plastic aprons you had to wear where you went or you stay wet all night long. I worked third shift. And was lucky to get that. Made $1.60 an hour. I made more than that working for the lumber company. Of course, I was doing a lot harder work with the lumber company. Digging foundations to houses with a sharpshooter shovel. Boy, howdy. We built a house one time, and the lady came and poured the foundation, and the lady came over, and she was walking around looking, and she asked the man that owned the company, said, where's the plumbing? We done poured that down foundation, and they hadn't put the plumbing in yet. Lord have mercy. And it was in July in Mississippi. We had to break that foundation out, and they didn't bring no air hammer. They give us all of us a big sledgehammer. And we had to start on the edge breaking that concrete. Oh, Lord have mercy. But I was getting paid to do that kind of work, so it didn't make no difference. It was just more hours for me, really. But breaking that concrete pad with that concrete, with that hammer, that was tough. We built a house for an Italian fellow there out in the middle of his cotton field. And he had gotten some blueprints for the house he wanted. He had a big family. Anyway, they went out there with a stalk cutter and cut the cotton down and give us room to build a house. Built it right in the middle of a cotton field. Cotton was over head high. Wasn't no air. Man, it was hot. And the piers under the house are generally 3 feet by 3 feet. And this man, he didn't want his house to crack. We put the piers under that house 4 feet by 4 feet deep. And digging down in the hard ground, I didn't think we was ever going to get 4 feet. But I saw his son a few months ago at a funeral, and I asked him where he lived. He said he lived in the old home house. That was the house that we built. And I asked him, was there any cracks in the foundation? And he said, not a one. He said that house ain't shifted an inch. in all these years, and that was in the 60s, 1964 to be exact. And I bet there ain't a house in Mississippi where I live that was built in 64 that it ain't cracked up. And all it is a simple 1 more foot wide and 1 more foot deep. It don't add that much to the cost of the house. But 3 feet wasn't hard to get to. 4 feet was almost impossible. And you was already in the middle of a cotton field where there wasn't no air. Now you're down a 4 foot deep hole and digging in concrete, basically. Wasn't no soft dirt nowhere. I keep putting this link in here. I don't know why, because can't nobody come up. I wish they would, though. One of the 2 people that's up there. I think 4 o'clock I'm going to have to go to bed, if not sooner. Lucky's over here snoring. One thing about this illness, boy, I stay cold all the time. I got on a big old Carhartt coat in the house. And I'm comfortable. Supposed to be 51 degrees here today. 49 tomorrow. '51, at least the flies won't be around while we're trying to cook. I do without the rain, though. Supposed to rain, it says rain now, today. Right now, but I don't see it. Ain't but 60 cents worth of chance of rain. As a third person showed up, I wonder if they want to come up here. There's the link. Jody, can you hear me talking? Cause I don't know if this mic here is working or not. It may be going through that webcam up there, and if it is, I may not be talking loud enough. But if I talk too loud, I'll get a knot on my head. Probably already talking too loud. What's the difference in chewing gum and dipping snuff, Jody? Do you know the difference? I may make it to 4 o'clock. I'm not doped up right now. I'm woozy. I'm sleepy. Well, this mic must be working. Because I know that thing is up there is at least a foot or half away. Unless it's a really good microphone. Jody, when I get where I can, I may want to come up there and get you to take me fishing. I'm assuming I'm going to get that way in a few months. I don't know. I know you got a big old boat, and that's what I'd have to have. I know years ago I said I was going to come up there. I ain't forgot it. But I think I'd have a big time going out there fishing again on a boat. If I get back where I can do everything I need to be able to do. Bait a hook and all that. Throw a cast net. I'll just invite myself. How about that? That's assuming they ever let me drive again. I guess they will. They say it happens. It ain't come on down, it's come on up. But I want to go live. Because I know I'll out fishing. Chattanooga's a long way from here, man. Golly. I guess that's the big city close by, Chattanooga. I know we carried a baseball team over here one time to play Bailey School, and we stopped in Fort Payne and practice. So it was a long ways to Chattanooga. It seemed like we never was gonna get there. Beautiful, beautiful place though. Now look at me snapping this coat together. A month ago, I wouldn't even try this. I wouldn't even know where to start. I'm having trouble with this button though. There it is. Now I'm buttoned up. I don't know why they didn't put a zipper on this coat. But you talking about a good coat. This thing's a good coat, boy. It sheds that wind. It's not waterproof, but it's water resistant. That's nice. It is Chattanooga, isn't it, Jody? Yeah, that saved me some money there. I imagine if I came that far, I'd bring CP with me and we'd have to stay in a motel room. You got room on the boat for CP? He's a super guy. And he lives in Memphis. I had to stop. East or west, north or south? South. But Chattanooga, that's kind of the area you access the Tennessee River, though, right? Ain't that kind of where you fish out of around Chattanooga? I thought that's where you went up when you went to the river, was around Chattanooga, some of the ramps around there. I've looked at it on Google Earth before and found and looked at some of the places y'all fish, Watts Bar and stuff like that. I've always heard of Watts Bar. Even back in the BOC days when I don't know how many members of that thing, up in the thousands, and there was guys then that fish Watts Bar. There you go. I live in 10 Mile. Is that the name of a town, 10 Mile? I've always heard of Watts Bar, and a lot of good fish come out of there. Is it a sandbar or a honky tonk? Which is it? Watts Bar. It sounds almost like a honky tonk. But being on the river, it could be a sandbar, I guess, or gravel bar or something like that. Well, I ran everybody else off. Now we're down to one. That is, ran everybody off. I reckon just me and you, Jody. I know y'all catch some nice fish up there. Through the years, I've watched the bite on the Mississippi River change from down here. Back when you keep hearing me talk about the Brotherhood of Catfishermen. I was real active in that thing. It was a chat room in there. There's a bunch of us gang up every night, talk. That's where I met Lyle Stokes and some of the other guys, Steve Douglas and several of the other guys. Of course, it just was a chat room, but anyway, we'd be catching fish here in December or October, and then they'd be catching fish in Memphis in December and January. And January and February, boy, the Tennessee River be on fire. And they used to have a big gathering on the Cumberland up there. I can't remember the name of the town. It was at Cheatham Locking Dam on the Cumberland. They have a big gathering up there in February, and a lot of times they fishing in the snow. I always wanted to go. I knew it would go. Too daggum cold. But they would catch some monster catfish at Cheatham. I don't know what town it was close to. But the motel they used, they let them put tents up out there in the parking lot. Concrete floors in the tent. It was asphalt or something, but anyway, it had cracks in it where they could get some pegs in the tent to hold the tents down or tie them off the car bumpers or whatever they had to do. It was a big deal, man. It'd be 40, 50 people go to that thing. Of course, they share pictures. I'd freeze to death just looking at the pictures. Because I caught them cold water fish. I know what it is, man. About like duck hunting. When you catching fish in that cold water, you got to handle them to take pictures and all that. Man, it's cold. And then food around that one of them bikes, you got a mess then. Now you got to put your hand in that cold water to try to stop the bleeding. I miss those days, but you can adjust. I miss fishing on that riverbank, but you got to adjust to that too if you can't do it no more. I wasn't able to do. I had already quit before I ever had this head problem because I couldn't. I was having to take when I get home. I had to take pain pills to go to sleep. I'm still going to rehab for that groin muscle I got pulled. That thing bothers me all day long, every day, even when I'm in the bed, it bothers me. And I did that metal detecting. Golly. Well, it's the witching hour. It's 4 o'clock. How far are you from work, Jody? You got to be getting close. Because I'm fixing to have to lay back down. It be 4 o'clock in the morning. I got 5 hours before I get radiated again. That machine that I go up there and get that radiation with, the doctor told me it cost between $4.5 and $5 million. You still got 40 minutes to drive? Lord have mercy. You moved to the wrong place. 40 minutes to go to, and you still got 40 minutes? That's at least an hour to work. Got to be an hour and a half. Yeah, I'm going to have to lay down. I'll see y'all later. Thank you for talking to me, Jody. You don't work too hard now. Don't let them get to you. And remember the EOC. See you later, Jody.